Class is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning and welcome everyone to today's formal meeting of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Great to see everyone who's here in person and grateful for folks who are following online as well. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Good morning, Supervisor Sellers.
Here.
Supervisor Galvin.
Here.
Supervisor Hickman.
Here.
Supervisor Gallardo has joined us remotely. Here. Chairman Gates.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we are going to go to the prayer and the pledge as we always start our meetings with. And today, Vice Chairman Hickman has been so kind to ask a guest to join us to do the prayer and the pledge. So I will turn it to him
I have, and
produce.
I think she might be vaguely identifiable by not only her job, but her demeanor. And so happy to have her with us today upon basically all of our invitations. So Rachel Mitchell, our county attorney, is graciously spending a little bit of time with us today for an important subject, God and country.
Wow, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Can we all stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the pledge? Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day and the great resources that you've given our country, our state, and our county. Lord, bless those resources and bless us as we decide how they can best be used to serve the residents of Maricopa County. Thank you so much that we are able to come here today to participate in a democratic process and be with the Board of Supervisors as they make decisions today. Give them wisdom, give them courage to make the decisions that best serve the residents of Maricopa County. I ask these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Vice Chair Hickman, for inviting our County Attorney, Rachel Mitchell, to join us. Rachel, we know how busy you are. Thanks for taking the time. Thank you for your words, and thanks for your leadership. And thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, next we're moving to our pet showcase, which we always do next during our formal meetings. And so we should have Kim joining us here in just a moment. There she is. I'll switch over, hit the Denny Barney button here, and switch us over. Kim, good morning. How are you? I think you're on mute.
Oh.
Possible. Kim, are you on mute or?
There we go. I had to mute it twice.
Okay, perfect. Good morning.
All right, so I have good news followed by more good news. Bruce, who I brought to the Board of Supervisors at the last meeting, got adopted over the weekend, which is always great news. And then the other dog that I picked for this week's Board of Supervisors, the first one got into a foster home yesterday, and Biggie, who you're seeing on your screens, was also adopted. So I'm going to introduce you to the newest Board of Supervisors dog. I've got Copper here with me, who is now on the ground. Come on, Copper. He's been playing fetch in my office. So I discovered he plays fetch, which is great. He's also house trained. I asked our I asked our staff members who would be a good Board of Supervisors dog. Before I could even finish my sentence, they said Copper. He's 4 years old. He's been at the shelter since October 18th. He's a really good boy. He loves attention and obviously very laid back as well. So he is neutered and vaccinated and ready to go home.
And did you say his name is Copper?
Copper, yeah.
Copper, all right. Well, what an appropriate name for an Arizona dog. Well, that's great news about all of these dogs finding homes. So keep them coming to the Board of Supervisors meetings. We love having you participate. We love meeting all these new animals. And again, thank you so much for all you do over there.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, have a great day.
You know, Mr. Chairman, aren't
Yes.
you about 4 years old as a board of supervisor?
4 years old? I wish.
With 4 years of experience now as the board?
I
Where have you
joined
been?
it in 2017, so.
Well, I'm just saying that dog kind of matches your age as a supervisor.
You know.
I know that you're home alone now with your 2 daughters in college.
Yeah. Well, we've got 2 dogs, so we'd have to run it by them first. Get their approval. But I appreciate the suggestion. Madam Clerk, do we have any announcements or corrections to the agenda?
Chairman, Supervisors, I do have just a few announcements. Items 7 through 11, this is just an announcement. This is not a change to the agenda, but just a reminder that planning and zoning agenda items 7 through 11 are CPA cases whose approvals are subject to resolutions which are attached to the individual staff report packets. Item number 12, the ISFON residence item. The applicant has requested a continuance to the February 8th, 2023 meeting. And then item number 13 is the impact statement hearing for the proposed Metlock Place IWDD. There's also a request to continue this item to the January 25th, 2023 meeting. And that's all I have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So now we will move to planning and zoning hearings, consent agenda 5, Cactus and Perryvale RV and boat storage, and 6, VIP 2, Virgin Industrial Park Phase 2. Madam Clerk, do we have any registered speakers or comments received on items 5 or 6?
Chairman, Supervisors, none were received for items 5 and 6.
All right, the board will now consider items 5 and 6.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move approval of the planning and zoning consent agenda items 5 and 6 in accordance with the commission recommendations as printed on the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you for the second. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. For planning and zoning hearings, under the regular agenda, we have Levine Area Plan Decommission, 8 Estrella Area Plan Decommission, 9 Mobile Area Plan Decommission, 10 East Mesa Area Plan Decommission, 11 Queen Creek Area Plan Decommission. Do we have Darren and Tom if you could come on down and join us? Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, these items are for the decommissioning of 5 area plans. Area plans are a significant component of our comprehensive plan. They're specific land use plans that provide guidance through policy objectives and goals in specific areas where we would anticipate growth and development to occur. Each of these 5 area plans are approximately 30 years old. In that time, they fulfilled their purpose in that they've guided development in those areas. An analysis that was done by the Planning and Development Department showed that each of these areas in that time have either experienced development, the properties have been zoned, or have been incorporated into areas or municipalities in the surrounding area. And so as such, the amount of area that would be left to plan has significantly been reduced. Therefore, we are recommending that these plans, instead of being updated at this time, would be decommissioned. Any of those areas would become rural development areas, and the land use discussion would happen at the time that those would come before this board at a rezone. This was presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission over the summer. They recommended unanimously that these plans be decommissioned.
Okay, thank you. I think this is the first time I've seen an area plan decommissioned, so thanks for walking us through that. Any questions from my colleagues?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Supervisor Gallardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I apologize. I wish I'd be there in person with you all. But just want to point out, and totally supportive of the proposal in front of us, and as you stated, it's my first time really looking at a decommission planned revision here. But one of the areas is district or number 9, the Mobile area that I've been working real closely with the community for the last good 3 months now. this is an area where Goodyear, many years ago, had a plan on the table to have new development out there. It was a great plan. Unfortunately, the plan kind of fell through, and a large portion of the Mobile area that did receive a lot of services from Maricopa County was now taken out of Maricopa County and part of Goodyear. I would just hope that, and would look forward to working with Goodyear to ensure that this large area, because it's a large segment of the Mobile area that was taken out, it continues to be serviced by Goodyear, continues to address the needs of the community out in the Mobile area. And so I look forward to working with Goodyear in ensuring that, yes, they took in the bold step of annexing this large area in Mobile, but I don't want these folks to be forgotten. So I look forward to working with Goodyear to ensure that they continue to service the good people out in the Mobile community. So I just want to point that out for the record, Mr. Chairman, but very supportive of all the items.
Wonderful. Thanks for those comments. All right, anything else from anyone? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, the Levine, Estrella, Mobile, Queen Creek, and East Mesa County area plans have served their purpose. Staff conducted an outreach to all stakeholders within the 5 geographic areas, but received no objection or concerns, and there are no speakers present on these items today, I believe. Isn't that correct?
Correct, no
Thank you.
speakers.
Thank you.
On these items say, therefore, I move approval of items 7 through 11 in accordance with the commission recommendation to decommission these county area plans.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have under the regular agenda the ISFAN residents. And Tom and Darren, I'm wondering if you have some, can address this particular item for us.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is zoning case Z 2021-127, the Isfahan Residence, District 3. It's located north of Irvine Road and east of 15th Avenue in the Phoenix area. It's approximately 1.6 acres. The request is for a special use permit to operate a cottage industry on a residential property. The history on this case is that there was a citation given for a zoning violation for the operation of that business without the benefit of a special use permit. In that time, the property owner or the applicant has worked with us through a compliance agreement, has had come into compliance, and that violation case has been closed. In the meantime, they're continuing to pursue the special use permit to allow some form of that business to operate on this site. In so doing, they were wanting to go back, work with residents, work out their operational plan, and come up with some type of plan to present to the board to request this special use permit in the future. Therefore, they've requested a continuance to the, which hearing? The February Board of Supervisors hearing. 20th? 28th. February 28th Supervisors hearing.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Chair, February
This is
8th.
what I had, yeah.
Don't have it.
Wonderful, thank you. I appreciate this is in District 3, appreciate the applicant's willingness to do this, although if they do come back to us with a revised plan for this project, I'm inclined to tear a page out of the Vice Chair's book and actually remand it to Planning and Zoning to have them reconsider this new plan. So thanks for walking us through that, and if one of my colleagues would be willing to make that motion to continue until the 8th, February 8th, I would appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, being that I'm just the best vice chair you've ever had, I'm going to go ahead.
That is a fact.
The zoning violation on this site has been closed. At this time, the applicant has not presented a special use permit case that can be approved. He has requested an additional continuance of at least 60 days in order to prepare revised plans that may be more acceptable to his neighbors. Staff supports the continuance, as we heard. Therefore, I move continuance of item 12 to the February 8th board meeting.
Thank you so much for that motion to continue. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second to continue this item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have number 13, which, thank you very much, Tom and Darren. Next, under statutory hearings, Clerk of the Board 13, which is an impact statement hearing for the proposed Medlock Place Irrigation Water Delivery District. Madam Clerk, do we have any registered speakers or comments on item 13 today?
Chairman, Supervisors, we have none for today.
Okay. This one is also in District 3, and I think the reason that we don't have any comments today is that they came in, folks from both sides of this issue came in here to the office last week. We sat with them. Jen and Andy were there as well, had a good discussion, but they've got a lot of issues to work through yet, and so I am supportive of their desire to have a motion to continue in this one on the impact statement until January 25th, 2023. And I would appreciate it if one of my colleagues would make a motion to that effect as well.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to continue item number 13 to January
25th.
2023.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you for the motion and the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thanks so much. Okay, next, under statutory hearings continued, we have transportation, 14A, road file number A722, 15, patent easement abandonment, road file number PAB-0205. Madam Clerk, do we have any registered speakers or comments received on items 14A and 15?
Chairman, Supervisors, none were received for these items.
All right, well, the board will now consider items 14A and 15.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 14A and 15.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Continuing under County Officers Board of Supervisors 16, resignation from the Community Development Advisory Committee. The board will now consider item 16.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item number 16.
Second.
Thank you for the motion and the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. For Clerk of the Board, we have 17 special event license for the Knights of Columbus Council 12144, 18 special event license for Southwest Wildlife Conservation Center, 19 temporary extension of premises patio for Arlington Grill. Under the Sheriff, we have 20 agreement with U.S. Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Administration, 21 and 22 donations, 23 mutual aid agreement with Tohono O'odham Nation. The board will now consider items 17 through 23.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 17 through 23.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under the Treasurer, we have list of state-held properties under tax deed. Justice Courts, we have 25, appointment of justices of the peace pro tem, and 26, IGA with Town of Wickenburg. The board will now consider items 24 through 26.
Mr. Chairman, move approval on items 24 through 26.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under County Management, we have Assistant County Manager Leanne Bone. 27, accept local assistance and tribal consistency funds and designate authorized representative. 28, appointment of Maricopa County Workforce Development Board member. 29, Maricopa County Workforce Development Board annual report. The board will now consider items 27 through 29.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items 27, 28, and 29.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Ooh, that was close. That's a photo
I didn't finish out this term second, or I would have beat him. So.
Yeah, okay. Supervisor Sellers. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're getting some technical difficulties up here, but we're just going to soldier on. County offices, air quality, 30, amend agreement with Arizona Propane Gas Association. 31, travel reduction program annual report. Under correctional health, we have 32, agreement with Community Bridges, Inc. Emergency Management, 33, addition to security services, Durango Patrol Fleet. Enterprise Technology, 34, competition impracticable with Valor Partners.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes.
We received one speaker form from Mr. Blue Crawley on item number 31.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Blue, we've got 2 minutes. Come on up. Thanks for coming today.
Glad to see and be here, and you did good on the TV.
Thank you.
The trip reduction program, what's its function? Air quality. And what is it tries to marry into? The RPTA and the other transit things. Today there's going to be a managers meeting, and of course you're not going to be there, but is that because the county doesn't feel that the parts of the equation that are mass transit don't deserve the sensitivity of the board? With the what's going on with Jack and Mag and that, I look at the part of it that is transit, see some really gaping holes in it, such as it's not being done for traffic patterns. It's eliminated the rural routes, which that's the county, isn't it? So you don't have anybody beating the drum for you. With the document that you guys are trying to pass through, it has on there asset management for rail, $1.1 billion. And I went, okay, how much does it cost for one of the 70 cars we've got? And they've got a lifespan of 30 years. And what are we doing for track preservation and that? And how does that come to 1.1 billion? But at the same time, when it comes to the rolling stock and the bus, what do you have? Not what you should. See you at the 57.
Thank you, Blue. Appreciate it. The board will now consider items 30 through 34.
Move to approve items 30 through 34, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under Finance, we have 35, accept tribal gaming funds from the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, 36, fund transfers warrants. Under Human Services, we have 37, affiliation agreement with Alverno College, and 38, IGA with the town of Guadalupe. The board will now consider items 35 through 38.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 35 through 38.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do we have a second?
Second, and Mr. Chairman, I just want to make a comment regarding the gaming funds from Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community. As you can see, many worthy organizations have been receiving funds. Absolutely fantastic, and I was proud to help Copa Health and Mesa coordinate with the Indian community, and they're very pleased to get this $51,200. But as you can see here from the list, many worthy organizations and a good deal of money. So this is a fantastic program. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you for highlighting that. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under Procurement Services, we have 39, purchasing agreement with State of Arizona, 40, contract with AW Contracting Corporation for Central Court's 11th floor remodel, 41, contract with BWS Architects for Maricopa County Downtown Court Plaza renovations. Excited to see that. 42, contract for guardrail installation and maintenance. 43, change order for Maricopa County Administration Building restack. 44, amend Treasurer's Information System Consultant Contract. The board will now consider items 39 through 44.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 39 through 44.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under Public Health, we have 45, amend contract with Southwest Human Development. 46, IGA with Cartwright Elementary School District. Under Real Estate, we have 47, cancellation of option to renew lease with Arizona Health and Rehab LLC. Under Transportation, we have 48, IGA with City of Buckeye. 49, amend IGA with City of Mesa. 50, bid and award for Sun Valley Parkway restoration. And 51, easement, right-of-way, and relocation assistance documents.
Chairman?
Yes.
We have a speaker form from Blue Crawley for item number 50.
Okay. Blue, come on up on item 50.
It's my intent that eventually the transit system will be on all major roadways and such. And I know the history of this Sun Valley Parkway and how they donated all the land, but all the state had to do was build. And did they? No. So we end up with what we've got now. And I'm glad that it's a part of the equation, but then if you're looking at the whole equation, where's the transit that that place should be getting, because it's a part of the whole equation and system? And if you live in Maricopa County and you're paying that sales tax, where's your bus? Where's your trip reduction programs? But instead, you guys go, well, that's somebody else's bailiwick to take care of those things. So when I see that we're doing the restorations and that, and I'm glad that we are, because that project, I mean, we dropped the ball on that big time, and it would have been so good for the west side. And I look at the super grid and how many big holes are in it, and supposedly you're going to base on that. So if you're going to be doing that super grid and that, wouldn't the Sun Valley Parkway eventually be part of the grid and what's happening? Because, Jack, you don't have it in there, and we do need to have those things in that plan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Blue. Appreciate your comments. So the board will now consider items 45 through 51.
Mr. Chairman, move approval for items 45 through 51.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. For setting of hearings, we have air quality 52, incorporation by reference, Rule 360, Rule 370, Rule 371, and Appendix G. Clerk of the Board 53, setting of hearing for submitted petitions to form Don Joe Acres Irrigation Water Delivery District. The board will now consider items 52 and 53.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 52 and 53.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under setting of hearings, we have Planning and Development, 54, Planning and Zoning cases, Transportation, 55, Road File Number A717, 56, Road File Number A716. The board will now consider items 54 through 56.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items 54, 55, and 56.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Now on the consent agenda, 57, appointments, 58, duplicate warrants, 59, treasurer's collections and disbursement summary, 60 through 63, cancellation of election and approval of appointments as listed on the agenda, 64, Maricopa County Head Start Program Report, 65, secured and unsecured tax roll corrections. The board will now consider items 57 through 65.
So moved.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next on the consent agenda, we have number 66, and I will need to recuse myself for potential conflict, and I'll pass it over to Vice Chair Hickman. Thank you.
You guys sure you don't want to do this? Item number 66, settlement resolution of property tax cases and claims. Do I hear a motion?
Move approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers.
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries, and we will invite the chairman back to the dais.
Well done, sir.
Hard job.
But somebody's got to do it. Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Moving right along to the Board of Supervisors addendum for County Attorney. We have 67, Melendres et al. Versus Maricopa County et al. Attorney's fees. 68, settlement regarding Antonio Atencia versus Maricopa et al. 69, conflict waiver for Joan Skelton and Hockley in Sanford versus Maricopa County in City of Phoenix. Under Planning and Development, we have violation of the zoning ordinance V201002034, and under Risk Management, we have 71, Arizona State Bar versus April Sponsel. The board will now consider items 67 through 71.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items 67 through 71.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now we're going to adjourn as the Board of Supervisors and convene as the Improvement District Board of Directors. 72, Casitas Bonitas Sanitary Sewer Improvement District Sewer Line Easement. The board will now consider item 72.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve item number 72.
Thank you for the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Thank you.
Thank you for the second. Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll adjourn as the Improvement District Board of Directors and convene as the Flood Control District Board of Directors. We have one item, 73, easement right-of-way and relocation assistance documents. The board will now consider item 73.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item number 73.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll adjourn as the Flood Control District Board of Directors, and we will convene as the Library District Board of Directors. 74, termination of IGA with City of Surprise. The board will now consider item 74.
I move approval with a comment.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hickman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Galvin. Vice Chair.
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to point out Jeremy Reeder is here with us today for the Library District, and I appreciate you very much for talking about this to me very early in the process. And I appreciate the hard work and from all the staff. I don't know if I've seen something like this during the time I'm on the board, but Surprise feels that they can run their libraries effectively as a city now. So I hope the best for them, and I appreciate Jeremy's hard work with a smooth transition upcoming, so appreciate it.
Excellent. All right, so we do have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. City of Surprise has flown the coop.
Don't use a chicken joke on me.
Sorry.
Yes, but they have.
Okay. All right. So now we'll adjourn as the Library District Board of Directors and reconvene as the Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, do you have anything to report regarding public comment email responses?
Yes, Chairman, Supervisors, email comments. Our office received 2 comments regarding animal care and control, 6 emails from the same person regarding the assessor's office, 2 comments regarding elections. All of these have been shared with all the board offices. In person, we have received 1 speaker form from Blue Crawley for public comment.
Okay, wonderful. Blue, come on up for 2 more minutes.
You're not familiar with this, it's the manager's agenda. And 2 of the items on there that I have a lot of fun with are Federal Government Relations Consulting Services Contract Award for $1,191,370 with a 10% included contingency in that. And then also one to High Ground for the legislature. They're the same ones who you guys have used that delivered that thing to them in 21, and which was defeated now because the amount of money we paid them was to what? Get that legislation dealt with and done. But then again, what does the RPTA and Valley Metro Rail have to do with the plan? And when I look at it and see that the asset management thing, that's to replace and maintain everything on the rail, and that was for $1.1 billion. So I started doing some digging and said, well, how much do the cars cost? We got 70 of them. They got a 30-year life. Okay. Well, 5 million times 70 doesn't quite come up to 1.1 billion. And when it comes to the rail maintenance, that's supposed to be ongoing, and I don't see it that we need to spend $750 million on that if we're doing it correctly, which would be changing the system from overhead to maglev, because then you don't have the friction and the deterioration of the rail. Well, hoping that you as an entity and what you do at RPTA and at MAG, you need to redo the system that you put out, make that a better plan, and get the job done.
Thank you, Blue. Appreciate you being here today. Okay, now this is the time when those of us up here on the dais have a chance to chat about anything that we want to. It's going on here at the county or in the community. So I'll start with our county manager, Joy Rich.
Nothing today, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. We'll go out to cyberspace first with Supervisor Gallardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And real quickly, had a great meeting on last Friday out in Levine. It was a roundtable discussion, probably around good 150 people there, with the mayor of Phoenix, had like 3 council members, and talking about how we all kind of work together to address some of the many different issues that are not only in Levine, but across the valley, anything from homelessness to how do we support and work together to support our schools and so on. But it was a great discussion. Couldn't be more pleased to be part of that roundtable. So kudos to Levine community for bringing everyone together. It's always good to have the municipalities, the counties. They had the state there as well. The school district kind of organized it for the most part, but it was a great discussion, and I hope they continue to have these types of dialogues. It was the first time I've ever attended something to that magnitude and that large, but it was a great discussion. We had business owners, we had everyone there, but it was a great discussion. So kudos to Levine for organizing that, and I look forward to their next round of discussions. Real quickly, exciting times, Mr. Chairman. We have a former president coming to District 5 right now. So it's always, I know we're not supposed to get political or talk about elections and all that crazy, but it's always exciting when you have a former president come into your district to talk to folks. So we're excited out here that the former president, Barack Obama, is coming in. It's always good to have, like I said, these national figures come in. Even though it's election, we're not supposed to talk politics, but it's always exciting to have folks come into your district. So I'm looking forward to later on tonight. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. And good luck with everything tonight. Next, Supervisor Sellers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'll start, I guess, by saying that I really appreciate our Department of Public Health doing the opioid settlement update for all of our municipalities. I think each one of us have had meetings with our mayors and council members and leaders in the cities and towns to explain to them how we're getting the money and how it'll be administered. So that was very good, and I really appreciate our public health department is exceptional. And I think all of you already know that I'm spending most of my time meeting with all the East Valley chambers, the East Valley Partnership, talking about how we get Proposition 400 extended. It's really a critical thing for us for our economic development future. It's interesting to me that the question I get asked almost every meeting I attend is, why do we have to have the state's approval to have our voters tell us what they want us to do? And I don't have a good answer for that yet, but we're working on it. The other thing I'll mention is I had a meeting of our critical infrastructure group in East Valley Partnership yesterday, and we had, along with an update on Proposition 400 extension from MAG, we had an update from Salt River Project on what they're doing to provide a sustainable water source for us here in Maricopa County. And it really is an encouraging presentation. And we were reminded by the person from Salt River Project that they are a water company, that they sell power to help offset the cost of water. So it's really interesting, and it's encouraging to hear all the things they're doing that will assure that we do, in fact, have a sustainable water source here in the valley for the future. So busy times, and we've got a lot going on, but I feel encouraged by what we're accomplishing.
All right. Thank you for those important updates. Supervisor Galvin.
Mr. Chairman, good morning. Thank you. Lots going on, especially in District 2. I want to talk about a few things that we've been able to do and then some other things on my mind regarding the election. First of all, I had a breakfast meeting recently with former Supervisor Mary Rose Wilcox, who's the chairwoman of the Valleywise Health Governing Board, and we talked about a lot of interesting topics, including not only what she's doing, but my interests and concerns about housing and economic development and water and transportation. Also, I attended the grand opening of the Rio Verde Fire District, which was really exciting because also the Sheriff's Office now will be housed in that building as well, and the folks in the Rio Verde community are very excited to have a beautiful new fire building. And also, most of all, it was really exciting for me. Last week, Jacqueline Edwards, our fantastic Director of Human Services, accompanied me to Head Start in Mesa, and this was just a wonderful morning that I get to spend with the wonderful teachers, staff, and kids at Head Start. I was able to read a book with them, and we had a lot of fun, and they actually gave me some artwork that they created, which is beautiful, which is going to be hung in our office. And then obviously 6 days from now is Election Day. I'm very concerned and worried about everyone's safety, but also confident that everything is going to work off without a hitch. But I just want to remind folks, your vote is very important. The eyes of the country and the world are upon Arizona, so take your vote serious. But also anyone who wishes that things go wrong or that there's chaos, you're rooting against Arizona. Let's put Arizona first. And I also would remind the candidates to accept the results, win or lose, because there are a lot of other options in life to serve after you lose an election. And you never know, you might run again someday, and people will remember whether or not you were a sore loser. And Mr. Chairman, I want to make an announcement, since I'm the only one on the ballot this year, that I guarantee you that if my opponent wins my election, I will honor that and say I accept the results of that result. So thank you.
Thank you very much for those important comments. Really do appreciate it. Vice Chair Hickman.
Well, first of all, to the board, sorry I missed some very important meetings on Monday. I was drawn away to the state of Colorado for a wedding of somebody that's actually basically the godfather of one of my children, and he's a godfather and is at the ripe old age of 25. And he was married in the Rocky Mountains, and it was a true cowboy wedding. And it was really something to see because in that room were probably about 15 real cowboys that are in the beef industry. They ride their horses. And one of the parts of their wedding was the cowboy ethos. And there were 10 top things read off. And one of them was, well, a couple of them, which stood out to me: work hard, or you're not a real cowboy. And be truthful and honest, or you're not a real cowboy. And basically those boys, all boys to me, took an oath to that as one of their own was getting married. And I thought about what we're seeing. Also, attending a conference about development and how Luke Air Force Base fits into our community, the tight role that everybody plays to save Luke Air Force Base, doing good development by statute, and getting to see General Sears, General Rand, Mayor Wires, and Fighter Country Partnership, Ron Seitz, talk about just how important it is to work for these 18-year-old airmen that are performing a valuable duty. And I was thinking, look at how much we depend on this generation of 18, 20, 25-year-olds already to be true patriots, and how can we support them? So when you see true cowboys and true patriots in the same room, you have a great feeling swell up in your heart that there's real patriots out there protecting us, and there's real cowboys out there feeding us. So I just wanted to mention that as I speak about the election. I want to thank Joy and this entire county. I'm already seeing some of the numbers come back, and I know it's some of our county workers, our county elections workers. Again, people from McDOT and McFlood coming in and providing a valuable service to the point where we can talk about, I think it's going to go off without a hitch, because they're experienced and they keep coming into work, working hard, and they're true patriots. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, there has been I agree with all my colleagues. There's a lot on the go. I had a few things that I wanted to mention that I had the opportunity to attend over the past week, and then I'd like to finish on elections. Attended an affordable housing groundbreaking actually in Supervisor Gallardo's district, Salt River Flats. Jacqueline was there as well. Leanne, excellent project, 192 units right in South Phoenix, right by the Kroc. For those of you familiar with the Kroc Center, wonderful partnership with the state, city of Phoenix. And again, I'm sure it's the same for my colleagues, affordable housing. I get asked about that every meeting I go to out in the community. So grateful for all the investment that our team has been working on and that this board has approved. It's a great project. Also that day I had the chance to attend the first all-hands meeting for McDOT. Jennifer was there, of course, since before the pandemic. Wonderful, hundreds of our employees out there just doing incredible work, incredible transportation work around the region. So great to get out there. And then our air quality team too is doing wonderful work with Phil McNeely here. And I had the chance early, I think it was last week, to go out in one of your new F-150 Lightning trucks, which are like super cool and doing the right thing for the Valley as well, for Maricopa County. So that's very exciting, and we had a little fun doing a video with that at the charging station. So again, very excited to see the county getting more committed with its fleet, getting more electric, clean vehicles in the fleet. Yesterday, Recorder Richer and Sheriff Penzone joined me at my monthly coffee chat out at got back to my City of Phoenix roots. It was at the Shadow Mountain Senior Center right off of North 32nd. Great turnout for that event, and just wonderful to hear both Recorder Richer talk about all that has been done with early voting, voter registration, and then Sheriff Penzone to talk with so much confidence about what you were talking about, Supervisor Galvin, that everyone should feel comfortable voting. We're going to be safe. He has made it his commitment, and his team has made their commitment to come alongside Maricopa County Elections, come along the recorder's office. And again, I just couldn't be prouder of the partnership we have across all the countywide elected officials. And then this evening, I'll have a chance to speak on a panel. This event's being put on by the Democracy Resiliency Network, and it's going to be in Tempe, and it'll be Recorder Richer and I and the state elections director just talking to people, again, about how they should have confidence in their vote and that we are prepared for what is coming for us here in the next 6 days. And just finally, that's what I want to end on, is the incredible work, and you talked about it a little bit, Clint, but the incredible work of our county workers who are volunteering, our 3,000 temporary workers who are part of this election, and then our permanent staff, the hours that people are working. Scott Jarrett, our elections director, sent me a text late on Sunday after a full day of working on Sunday on a couple issues. The eyes of the world are on Maricopa County, and I couldn't be prouder of the team that is working on this election. So again, encourage everyone, vote however you want to. If you want to vote at a drop box, vote at a drop box. If you want to drop it in the mail, it's too late. Too late to drop it in the mail. So you need to do the drop box or come into one of our vote centers. You can vote in person. You can drop off the ballot, and then finally you can vote in person on Election Day, which, by the way, this board has been very strong in defending your right to vote that way too. So thank you, everyone, for your time today, and this meeting is adjourned.